future sound of Exeter.
Yeah, a special show tonight. Sembalance, the evolution of a rock band. And before I extract Sembalance from the Phoenix Bar, here's some Hawkwind telling you about their orgone accumulator.
One man isolator.
Phonic FM on 106.8 FM.
Whoa, welcome to the Future Sound of Exeter show, and it's a bit of zoo radio today, not just because we've got an animal in the studio. In fact, we've got 5 animals, 4 of whom are members of Sembalance.
Hey.
Ooh, look at that.
Hello.
Barring.
Good evening.
Yep.
Hello.
You're audible as well, chaps. Well done. That's the first test passed.
So set the scene properly.
Oh,
We have Paul Giblin, we got Ed, we got Matt, we got Rob and myself, and Ed has brought his fluffy little monster here who's now just climbed onto my lap, which is going to make the weirdest night ever, I think, but there we go.
And he's brought a dog as well.
Yes,
I
he
have.
has.
Phoebe is my manager and also guitar technician.
Excellent. Looking good, Phoebe. Can't say that for the rest of you guys. Right, so, Bene, Sembalance is your brainchild.
Yes, it has been for 22 years.
You've answered the first question already without prompting. How good was that?
Look into my eyes.
No, around the eyes, not in the
okay.
eyes. Right. Okay, so 22 years you've been doing it.
Yep.
And what's your latest product?
Well, the latest product is really what you see here and some of what you'll be hearing in a minute.
What, you produced these guys?
I have produced these guys. They are of my making.
You should see the scars.
Terrible.
Daddy.
And so there's an album.
There is an album, yep.
And what's it called?
It's called Razor Wire, and I'd like to thank Phonic FM and Respect Festival because I helped out at the end of the Respect Festival last year and on taking everything away and putting it in the little containers. Lovely sunny day, picture of Razor Wire. There we go, and that's the picture that's on the cover.
Is it really?
And if I wasn't helping out at the Respect Festival, I wouldn't have had that picture or that graphic.
There we are.
Fabulous.
God, there's karma for you.
Look at that.
So we've got an album called Razor Wire.
Yep.
It's getting launched this Saturday.
This Saturday indeed, yeah.
Right, we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's hear something from it. And so, a track you've selected for us?
I think we'll do Taser Me Twice, which is the first one that we did with the 4 of us with, dare I say it, after 22 years of instrumental with some vocals on it.
Wow, okay.
Scary.
Bit of Heartline production.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a Phonic FM exclusive. Get ready for the dulcet tones of Sembalance with Taser Me Twice.
twice. My head's in flames, so you're teasing me again. It's so nice to tease me twice. Embrace the pain and teasing me again. It's so nice to tease me twice. My head's in flames, so teasing me again. It's so nice to tease me twice. Embrace the pain and teasing me again. It's so nice to tease me twice.
Phonic FM.
Ooh, jolly good tasering there.
Yeah.
What was all that about then? Just put you on the
So
spot,
good, do it to
hasn't
me again.
Where did it come from?
Where did it came from? It came from, as all good Sembalance songs have done, from an instrumental dance lick, and we were working on it and jamming with it in our village hall at Marsh Green. And I think somebody said to me a while ago, he said Sembalance, if they were going to do more live stuff, should have a few vocals in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And that person, well, let me remember, was Paul Giblin.
Oh dear,
Yeah,
something else I'll take the blame for.
He could be responsible for that. And
I've heard of him. Yeah.
so I just started putting a few lyrics in, and what I wanted for that one was something to do live, and that was easily catchy and just a nonsense, really. So
Right.
I have not actually been tasered twice, to be honest. I've never been
First
tasered.
time for everything.
I've never been tasered once, but I'm sure somebody will take up the challenge.
I'm sure people pay good money for a good tasering these
Sure
days.
they would indeed.
I'm sure they would.
Right, okay, well let's go back in time, Benny.
To the very beginning.
Ooh.
And it is
So
literally
what's
the
that,
very
primordial
beginning. From the first primordial soup, it's the Atom Factory, which was the first thing I wrote as Semblance, and it's about an alternative vision of creation. So it literally is back to the beginning of time.
Oh, God.
Blooming hell.
Yeah.
You can't do that anywhere else.
That's
can
heavy,
you?
man.
It is heavy.
Hey, right, well let's see what it sounds like on air.
Oh,
Atom
dear.
Factory, vintage Sembalance, only on Phonic FM.
Phonic FM on 106.8 FM.
You need to write a new jingle.
The beginning of time. Wow.
The beginning
Atom
of
Factory.
Semblance.
We were there.
Yeah.
What was it like, Benny?
What was it like? It was a lonely old place, sat at home on my own most evenings, and the music filled the gap, really. I was in another band at the time with Mac and Helen and Steve and various other singers, and we went from Head Zoo to Crush. And behind that, I was doing the Semblance stuff as my own electric project. which is kind of where it continued until more recently.
Okay, so we'll continue on that trajectory then.
Yes, indeed.
And the stuff you've primed for me is Triton's Kiss.
Okay, now this marks another slight change, and as I mentioned before with Hedzu, I had Mac on drums, who also did some initial vocals on Sembalance, but Steve was the first proper guitarist in Sembalance. So this
Proper
is
guitarist, proper.
Yeah, well, yeah, because
As opposed to the
as the
substandard
stuff
one
that I
now.
occasionally pluck onto them.
Man dispute, come on, walk out.
We shan't work together again.
Right, okay, well that's great. Another band have just disintegrated thanks to this radio show. Mission accomplished. And on that note, I think we're going to hear a bit of Triton's Kiss.
Phonic FM on 106.8 FM.
Woo! Well, who
so-
was Triton then?
Right, Triton.
Not that we prepared you
Not
at all.
primed whatsoever. So that little jitty was about a man named Triton who invented the tank in World War One, which may have helped towards stopping that war. But that was Triton's Kiss, which is not something that any of you really want to encounter.
Even worse than a Glaswegian Kiss, really.
Yeah, indeed. Quite a lot worse.
Yeah, we can be racist on air, it's fine. It's only the adjoining country and a referendum coming up soon, you know. And they have their own Phonic FM, you know.
Just got a call from Ofcom. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Right, so we're going to stay with the retro semblance for a while?
Yes, we are. I've forgotten already what we were going to do next.
Well, I thought we were going to shift some sound.
Right, now we're going on to Shifting Sands, which...
About builders?
Yes, about a lot of that. And this is after Steve had moved to London, so I was without a guitarist again, and I was asked to produce a piece for a ballet production in Kent, and for the Maybach Dancing Corporation, and this is what they danced to, Shifting Sands.
Yippity. Ooh, there we go. So what was happening in the ballet at that point then, Benny?
There was about 35 girls and one lucky or unlucky boy on stage dancing like fury to it, and it was brilliant. We wheeled out all the synthesizers live.
Yep.
And I sat at the back stood at the back and just let rip in front of a
Did you play
full
as well?
audience. Yes, I was playing as well. Yeah, as well letting rip. Thank you very much. Cool. And over 2 days, 3 days, five shows in 3 days. That one lasted for, and it was good.
And where was it again?
In Sevenoaks in Kent.
Right. Okay. Excellent.
Nice.
Down south.
And
Right. So we've got we're going to take Sembalance forward in time. So what's the next phase?
Forward. Well, it was probably time to get a guitarist again because I get all lonely on my own.
Right.
And
Sitting right beside you.
Indeed.
Yeah, my good lady Karen's her best friend's boyfriend played a bit of guitar apparently, and I said, well, we'll see what he's like.
Yeah.
So we're now going to give you a bit of Predator. It wasn't the first one we recorded together, but I think you'll get the idea of what his guitar sounds like.
Okay, and before we let the world hear you, got anything to say in your defence?
Well, I mean, I'm merely a tool of the composer.
Spoken like a true puppet
just
on
a
a
tool.
string. Remember the profanities?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so let's hear what Benny made you do, and then we'll all sympathise with you afterwards. This is Predator.
Phonic FM.
Whoa! I can see the impact Ed had on the band.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, was he?
Yeah, that's good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Still owed the session fees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I heard it all before.
I would put the intro on that in my top 10 ever guitar solos.
Thank you.
So, and that includes the biggest names that have ever strapped on a guitar.
Right.
The intro is just superb. If you think you need to listen to it again, it is on YouTube.
There we go.
Thank you.
Crazy indeed.
So, we're moving on to the penultimate phase of Sembalance at the moment, which is where Ed and myself, we ran out a bit. We did run out of steam for getting live gigs. To be fair, I had been given a harmonica for a birthday present, and I started playing that a bit.
So who's to blame for that? Then?
My next door neighbour,
Right.
or opposite door neighbour, Rich Taylor. They gave it to me on my birthday, and I haven't looked back since. I enjoyed the harmonica, and myself and Ed then went into a period of meeting up pretty much every week to improvise both acoustically and electronically, and it was very creative, but we were just pretty much hidden away doing our own things, experimenting, learning our craft a bit more. And one day we just sat down and this was what came out. It's called June Song.
Oh, what a good introduction, Benny. I think we'll leave it there.
Phonic FM, 106.8 FM.
Well, the time has come. While we were listening to that track, the guys have been plugging in instruments, tuning up, and generally getting on each other's nerves. So, you're going to play live for us?
We're going to play live. This is another one that came out of that era of improvisation. Again, Ed and myself just plugged in, was playing this one day, and the lyrics came out, and that was it. It's called Jack in the Woods. And we don't do this at Kill. Rob was going to start us off, I think. Yo!
Whoa!
Yay.
Oh, clap anyway.
Jack in the Woods.
Yeah.
Can we hear Exeter applauding?
Oh yeah, their streets are just thronged with people. They've got bottles, knives, luckily we're underground.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Where you were better off.
amazingly the levels were just right there, Benny.
Cool.
So I could hear all of you in the mix.
Well, there is a first time.
good.
There is a first time for everything.
Yeah, shock horror. So do you want to do another one while you've all got your instruments to hand?
Okay, we have to ask Bobby. Are we doing Hawg?
Are we?
Yes, we are. We'd like to introduce Robert DeMilo, who plays bass. And I would say at this point, the four of us go out as a rock and roll band as well, with a proper singer.
That's not me.
But for now, we have Robert, who is perfectly capable of adding some sweet little vocals.
Good man.
And we're going to do a Hawg for you, baby.
Oh, excellent. With a little intro from Mr. Ed.
Are we doing this one in E?
We do this
We
one.
are, yes.
right in the levels as well. Yeah,
Oh, good.
it's getting
Do you know
better.
what's really interesting about doing this stuff is that I think it really shows the level of diversity and influence that there is in Sembalance material. It's just not, we're not influenced by just one type of music. I mean, we love Robert Johnson as much as we love some prog rock bands,
Yeah.
and it's, yeah,
Eclectic.
absolutely.
So what are you going to do for us next as you're still clutching your instruments?
I don't know. We could do. It's one that Mac and himself often do, just the two of us. But the other two, I'm sure, will join in at one phase.
There's a threat.
It's become a bit of a party piece, I suppose, in some ways. And it's from a time that all of us in this room probably remember, when you couldn't, or not, we didn't really have access to live music. So if you wanted to see live music without going to the local pub, you had to watch TV.
I can sense what you're building
Yeah,
up
indeed. So, although we have in our time done a cover version, or a sort of cover version of the theme tune to Top of the Pops, there was one much better programme.
to. Led Zeppelin did one as well, didn't they?
They did do a cover version of that too, I believe.
They
Yes.
stole it from us.
Yeah, I think they must have done.
Yeah.
So this might bring back a few memories for some of the audience. But here we
Yeah, nice one, Benny.
Really good.
Whoa. We're forced to whisper after that.
whispering ball.
Excellent.
Nice.
Well, I'm not going to let you go without doing more.
Oh no.
Okay.
What are you going to do next then?
We are going to do what has become a bit of our other signature song.
Ooh.
And we've already heard the recorded version, so we are now going to attempt to do an acoustic version of Taser Me Twice. Now,
Acoustic tasering. Do
whether
the
you
police
can
know
get
about that?
a
Isn't that when they use
non-electrified
an asp
taser
or
gun, we're
something?
not really sure. So, yeah, so we can start.
Taser me again!
twice. Embrace the pain and taser me again. It's so nice when you taser me twice. Caught every one of them out.
Excellent. What's interesting, all of those tracks, the volume gradually crept up throughout them.
Well, it's just rock and roll, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
The volume progression.
Right. Except the bass, which we lost altogether.
It wouldn't have been that loud because the dog's gone to sleep.
Yeah, lovely.
Rock and roll dog.
Yeah.
So, are you planning on doing some more things live now, or do you want to?
No, that was all we had in mind. We might think of something else we can do in a minute. You've made us do it all in one go, so
I made you do it. Oh yeah, you're an unwilling victim.
we can do a. Ooh, what do we want to do? Anything else? Do an instrumental version of Johnny Be Good?
Let's play some music.
Play some music.
Yeah, let's play some music.
Johnny Be Good. I'll even.
Oh,
No, I think Matthew meant.
Oh, play some music on there. Okay, let's play some.
My fingers are numb.
Ah, okay. He needs a break from the bongos.
Fair enough. Well, we've gone all the way through from your sort of Atom Factory, the dawn of time.
Mm-hmm.
We went as far as Predator and June's song. So do you want to take us right up to date with the
I
track?
think it's maybe time to play. Ooh, should we do the title track from Razor Wire? Which, funny enough, would be called Razor Wire.
No.
Yeah.
we like to surprise people.
So as you said earlier, this was inspired by a trip to the Respect lockup.
Yes, indeed.
Scary place.
It's a very scary place. They wouldn't let me out.
And is there anything you want to add in your defence?
No, guilty as charged.
Excellent. Okay, the title track from the album Razor Wire, called Razor Wire, by Sembalance.
Take him down.
Remember, you heard it here first.
on fire. Piece by piece, you're breaking me. You take my pride and I'm on my knees. A prison made of words and threats to torture all with more than this. You might fuel a funeral pyre, but build this hell there ain't no higher. You might fuel a funeral pyre, but build this hell there ain't no higher. Eyes up, and we help you. Stand up, you're one of us. So many here to make it work. We're not alone, so take apart. You might fuel a funeral pyre, build this hell there ain't no wire. You might fuel a funeral pyre, build this hell there ain't no wire. You might fuel a funeral pyre, build this hell there ain't no wire.
Phonic FM.
Yeah, Razor Wire, the studio version. And before we lurch into more chat, believe it or not, we've actually had some listeners.
Whoa!
So, just going to dedicate...
Hello, both of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to dedicate that live session to Helen Imber, Salmonella, not her real name, Eddie De Silva, Sue Taylor, and Mark Herald. Know any of those people?
No, I've had, if I may, I've had some messages from my friend Maggie and from my
Got a
friend.
friend?
I have, just 2 or 3, and from Mandy as well. Hi, folks.
Excellent.
Thanks for tuning in. Hope that you enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So the feedback's been positive so far. So
Woo.
how are we going to change that then?
We will do that with ease.
So I understand you've been plotting. Well, say I understand. I was there with you in this crowded hot room. So we're going to have a bit of chat now, Benny. So lead us off.
Okay, what I'm going to do is just take you through what has led to the current lineup of Sembalance, and I would blame it all on Mac, really.
That's it.
Guilty as
I'm going to be
charged.
the drummer.
Yeah. So Mac, I have been in drums. Has played drums in various bands I've been in over the years, and we've met up from time to time. And he's played drums on Sembalance before, sporadically, and done some vocals on Sembalance before, sporadically.
Yeah.
And he said one night, "Benny, we'd like you to come and play in this covers band." And I couldn't face it. I couldn't face having to lug all my synthesizers around. I just wanted a break from it, really. And I said, I will come along to your covers band and just play on a couple of numbers with my harmonicas.
Yeah, that was a good, yeah.
Which is what I did. But what I wasn't expecting was that it would be quite such a good rock and roll band. And I didn't really think I would be able to make the harmonica work over a multitude of songs. I thought it would only work over a couple, but we've all worked on it, and I think we've reached a point where it doesn't overwhelm everything, and we've become quite good. So I turned up, and at that point we had Mike D on vocals, and Tony on the guitar, and Rob, who's still with us, on the bass. And away we went, and we did a few gigs, and it worked very well. And then Tony retired from guitar, and of course I was still doing my Sembalance improvisations with Ed. So I asked Ed if he'd like to come along, because I told the others I had this reasonable guitarist. So then Ed joined the rock and roll band, which has been called the Band of Brothers. It has been called the Brand of Others. It has been called
Anticyclone
And the Depressions.
yeah. It's been called Benny's Blues Band at a blues festival, and probably a few other things as well, which we don't want to know about.
Broadcast those now.
Yeah.
So Mac, have you got anything to add to what Benny said, like the fact it's all complete lies? You know.
Well, it's There's a lot of truth there, really.
That's remarkable coming from Bene, really.
But I think it was a wonderful experience when the four of us did get together and made music. Everything seemed to gel really quickly, and then moving on to do the Sembalance stuff as a four-piece unit really opened up a whole realm of well, not cats and dogs as such, but
There's only one dog.
it was a wonderful time of creation, wasn't it? Really?
It certainly was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give us a bit of freedom as well.
Yes, and Matthew and I, we've been together for quite a few years now.
Not in the biblical sense.
Not in the
Well, it might be. I don't really know. We're wondering.
In our little rock and roll band.
Yeah.
And Bene and Ed joined us, as you've just heard. And then with us coming into Sembalance was all to do with a phone call from Bobby Watts of Wattfest fame.
Indeed, yeah. Good old boy.
So I said to Bene, ring up Bobby Watts. Right, he wants Sembalance for Wattsfest. And what's more, Matthew and I will be joining Sembalance.
Press gang.
And here we are.
And yes, here we are.
Lovely. Okay, so we've got a track from the album that you think showcases Mac in all his glory.
Well, I
somehow.
think it goes. What it will do is it will transfer us back to the very original days of Sembalance as well, when Mac wasn't doing the percussion, because that was all done on drum machines, and it was all meant to be very electronic. But he was doing some nice poetry and some talkovers. So at one point in this next song, Mac will be there doing his talkovers and adding a bit of percussion as well, we might add. So this is called, well, could be a title, not like the title track, but it could be called Perfect. It might not be perfect in most people's views, but this is perfect.
shadow and I steal all your dreams. I always sit in the dark. I see you shiver, but I want to hear you scream. I need a slice from your heart. I need a slice from your heart.
Your eyes are so clear, I could drown
Oh my. Bob the Beard. Thank you, Benny. You're all done.
Phonic FM on 106.8 FM. Exeter's sound alternative.
Well, that was pretty sound and pretty alternative. Perfect.
You can see what happens in the studio sometimes, can't you, in a after recording session after that. But yeah, that was it. That was how we finished it, and Benny left it on there, but
Which is good.
it's good, yeah. Yeah.
Right, so next track up, Benny. What are we going to do? More of this Razor Wire album.
Okay, I think I'd like to do next. This is one that well, it was written specifically for Watts Fest originally, because I thought need to put some vocals on something, but don't want anything too taxing.
Quite right.
And I've also chosen this one because this features some thumping bass lines from Mr. Robert DeMilo here, who is the master of trance, and it's probably a genre he never thought he was going to be much involved in.
That's very true.
Yeah. So this is called, and I have promised various people that I'm not going to revert to a very Devon accent during this whole show.
Right.
But I'm going to have to when I introduce this song, because this song is called Munching on Grass.
Phonic FM, live programming 16 hours a day.
Munching on grass, eh?
You munching on grass.
Well, while that track was on, we had a couple of people texting the studio, and one of them said, by the name of Hank, said it was fab. So that was good.
Was his second name Marvin by any chance?
Well, yeah.
I could get very excited if it was.
Absolutely, clearly. Hank Marvin was in awe of Eddie Pittman, yeah. Always on the cards, that one.
Go on.
And then the other one asked what that strange panting number was between tracks.
Ah, yes.
Oh.
That's our manager. And guitar tech. She's down there having a little kip at
He's
it.
gone to sleep on the job at the moment, but
That's Phoebe heavy breathing.
Yeah.
So I think there was someone in the know there, because I reckon they were pretty inaudible. Phoebe's breath. And we've also had a couple more likes on FaceAche.
yes, thank you,
So,
Zoe.
a friend-
That's,
yeah, so-
all appreciated.
There was Zoe, there's Mick Shear, Paul Strong, and a friend of mine, Ranju Roy, and they're all saying good stuff. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Thank you.
Right, so Benny, more chat and then some more track.
Okay, well, the next track I want to play is called Head Count. This is basically a poem to music, and I quite like doing that because I don't have to try and sing too hard then. And it's a post-apocalyptic type thing, but the
Yeah.
At
Not a
weekends.
dystopian nightmare for you, you know.
You're just getting ready.
yeah. And it started off as quite a jolly tune, but as this lot put their bits onto it, it became more and more apocalyptic, and I thought, well, let's put some dreadful words to it as
I
well.
hope so too.
It is my favourite track, definitely.
I think it does work, and it shows off many good points of all the band here, and not in the least is Ed's guitar, which, considering I think he'd heard it maybe once, and he had two takes on the guitar through to get it right, and there it was. Shows the genius of the man.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank
Right,
you.
yeah, flattery will get us everywhere.
Acrid stench, filling streets, alleys, offices and stairs. Shattered people walking lost and blind and dead, they're going nowhere. The mass is known, still in shock and awful sense of finality. Looking for anything that might convey a passing semblance of normality. rise. A reflex action sets in motion pain I cannot hide. With tension building, there's too much pressure on my mind. I'm reaching to almost anyone for a kind of sign. Every shelter, every shelter, every shelter, every shelter, every shelter. Looking for the head counts. I hear voices shout, I hear voices shout.
Phonic FM on 106.8 FM and online www.phonic.fm.
There we are, the online jingle. Hey. Well, that was lovely.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff. Yeah, and
Thank
the
you.
guitar work, sublime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything you want to say
Well,
to the world?
I've just been asked by a couple of other members of the band about my musical history, and it's hard to remember back really, and also it's difficult to talk because I've been advised by my legal team to say nothing. But, I started in the sort of band scene in Exeter. I was in a blues band called Harlem, and at the time we got close to supporting B.B. King when he played at the university in the late 80s, and that's obviously something that I cry about at a regular interval because we didn't do it. I joined a local kind of prog rock band called Purple Algae, and we were quite popular around the local scene for a while.
Good.
June.
June player,
Yeah, but thinking about music generally, I think that was something that came to my mind while listening to that piece was, I think music can evoke feelings that it's difficult to put into words. You can listen to a piece of music and you feel empathy. You feel that somebody else understands how you're feeling about something. It's a very much kind of an emotional connection. That's something that I think is very, very strong in the work that Bene and the rest of the Sembalance guys do, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
And there we are, chapter and
What a
verse.
profound comment.
Yeah, full of profundities.
If you follow that, we don't wait, really.
So I think we'll go from a profundity to a banality. Benny, get back behind the mic.
Oh, here we go. My second home behind a microphone.
Yeah.
Means I get back behind the air conditioning.
Back in the sweat spot here.
And before you wax lyrical for us one more time, we've had another text come in, this time from our good friend John Fuller, who thoroughly enjoyed hearing the Stone Fox Chase. Yeah, the old grey whistle test. So, my understanding is we're going to have a bit of White Orchid now.
Well, we're going to have two bits of White Orchid, and White Orchid is a song that's it came from me trying to emulate the dance scene at the time, but it's evolved into a tune that we do different every single time we play it. And I have some with lyrics on, some without lyrics, some which is done dance styley, some prog rock styley. Ed and myself have done an acoustic mix down of it as well, which unfortunately I couldn't get a decent recording remastering of it in time for this show, otherwise you'd have had 3 versions of White Orchid. So we'll kick off with the first one, which is from I think 2006, and it's kind of the dance version that just Ed and myself did, and then we'll do a different version of it afterwards.
And do you want me to go straight into that, or do you want to say anything in between?
I think we'll just break the two up and so that people know one from the other.
That's
but
cool.
It might be a bit obvious.
Okay, White Orchid version 1 coming at you, people. That was rather nice.
Thank you. That was, in fact, version 2 of White Orchid. Version 1 and version acoustic is on the album Presence. That one is on the album Predator. And the final version, or the current version, which is version 3, which is on Razor Wire, is what we were about to hear. It's a long, long song, so the music police might cut it short at some point.
Or they might not.
Or they might not.
We're used to playing prog rock epics on this show.
Right, okay. And for those that are interested, Status Quo were famous for only using 3 chords. At Sembalance, we quite often like to do something with just 1 chord.
Yeah!
This is one of those. There is the odd little lapse into, I think it's an F, but if anyone wants to play along, it's G minor all the way through for almost eternity.
Gets my vote.
Yeah.
The saddest of all keys.
Right, on that note of optimism, we'll listen to it.
Nothing.
I see you, white orchid, fading you white orchid. You're pale beneath the sun, like a fragile little child. You're dancing in the dawn.
Phonic FM.
Whoa. That was our last Sembalance track for the night, and a jolly good
Possibly.
one it was too. Possibly. Yeah, we might
leave the show on one if there's time.
If there's time.
The other boys have all gone outside now, so in their absence, I'd just like to say how lucky I am, really, that I've managed to surround myself with 3 such talented musicians that help my music come alive.
I'll second that.
And yeah, I feel very blessed on that front.
So, tell us what's going to happen on Saturday. Give us the full Monty so people think, oh, I must get down to Fat Willie's, and tell them where it is.
Okay, I'm not giving anyone the full Monty, even if it's a radio, not a TV show.
Yes, we're on radio.
Indeed. So, as a mark of bringing out a CD of this with the whole new band, I wanted to put on a party, and I wanted to do it somewhere a bit different, and my good old friend Dave Ellis has taken over the Willys Avenue Sports and Social Club, which, although not open fully yet, will hopefully be open enough for us to have our party there on Saturday. Sadly, due to licensing cock-ups, it will be a private party, to which I invite,
But you're all invited.
which I invite Phonic FM listeners to. But there will be plenty to do and plenty to listen to, and just unfortunately we'll have to finish the live music at 11 o'clock, but Paul here will be playing music till he gets fed up of playing it, really.
11.
Yeah, at least 11. So we'll see how that one goes. And it's if you don't know where Willys Avenue Sports and Social Club is, it's down, if you go to the range and carry on, miss the range, and as you get to the next T junction, it's just on the corner there, the corner of Water Lane and Willys Avenue. And I would say it's probably got one of the best sound systems in Devon.
Because you played the theme from the Old Grey Whistle Test, and Dave Ellis has actually got the original mixing
Soundcraft
desk.
music desk from the Old Grey Whistle Test, indeed.
How about that? And who else is on the bill that night?
All right, on the bill we've also got the legendary John Baggins. Well, what I just want to say before that, when I was deciding to put this party on, I thought very carefully about who do I want to put on, and what I wanted was people that had been important to me over the years. So John Baggins is an old friend. I might not see him really very often these days, but he was a jolly nice musical presence when I was sort of toying with the idea of doing a bit more with music, and I did find him very inspirational. His original setup with guitar and synth and so on, I also found inspirational. So I really wanted him to play along with it, and he is going to, and I think there'll be a treat for everyone on there. He will be playing acoustically with his guitar and doing some of his original songs. That's John Baggins. And the other people that I wanted particularly was going to be Sunfish, who I've done several gigs with over the years. I've found them also very inspirational, and they have been, to my mind, at the top of the dance scene several years ago, and they were playing all the big venues, and they were just brilliant, and they still are brilliant. And I'm looking forward to their set on Saturday.
Excellent. Okay, so we've got Baggins, Sunfish, and of course Sembalance.
Sembalance, yes, because of the rearranged timings, which I will put up on Facebook soon. We're going to open the doors at 7:30, and then Sembalance will kick off with a very short part of their set at 8 o'clock, and then we'll bring John Baggins on for his set, and then we'll bring Sunfish on, and then Sembalance will see out the evening.
Lovely.
To 11 o'clock on the dot, I am sure.
Time, gentlemen, please.
Yes. We'll see.
We will.
Yes, and looking forward to it very much, and please do come along. It should be a very entertaining evening. It will be as a private party, but that's just the way it's going to be. But you're all invited indeed. Thank you for listening, all of those that have stuck with us this far. And I think Paul's going to play some Sunfish now.
I am. This is my favourite Sunfish track. Don't know whether they'll play it on Saturday, but it's a corker anyway. This is Little Green Men.
The purpose of the film you are about to see is to put before you the facts about a danger that confronts us. It will tell you what you must know in order to survive. For your own safety, it is important that you believe only the truth. And that is what you are about to see.
your friend away to outer space.
One human contact, one unwitting person who spreads this thing can carry contagion all over the country, all over the world. Can't we put out an alarm, make an appeal to anyone who...
No, panic is the danger. Can you imagine the hysteria news of this thing would create?
There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer...
Sure. Little green men in flying saucers.
Tell me, do you find this planet so lonely that you have to look to the stars for company?
chance to prove there's life in outer space.
There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space. There's life in outer space.
We're the gods who smile on mortal men.
Phonic FM on 106.8 FM.
There we are, look at that mumbling in the background. We've got the members of Sembalance lining up their requests on the Spitting Feathers show. This could only happen here on Phonic FM. I've had a whale of a time having Sembalance in the studio, doing the Sembalance evolution of a rock band story from the early days with Bene, and I didn't mention his sad tailor's doll, Nelly, that used to accompany him everywhere. He's replaced that with 3 sad old men instead, and a dog. Yeah, and just to round off the evening, we're going to end where we started. We're going to taser you all again. So we're going to end up with tasering you, as Benny's just prompted me, not once, not twice, but thrice. It's good night from me, and it's...
Good night from him.